everybody. Welcome to RTX Pinball and today's episode of the Pinball Post. I believe this is the 6th episode, maybe the 7th? I can't even remember. They're flying by left and right. Welcome everybody coming over. I've been watching BiggggyD's Arcade show this last half hour or so. We've seen he does some pinball stuff, but it's not exclusively pinball like my channel is. So we got lots to talk about this week, and we're going to get into it. So this week, generally, we start off with Flipper Friends type of games, and we kind of go through those as people get in here. But since we don't have Flipper Friends this week, it's going to be a little different. So we got some stuff to talk about, and I'm going to jump over, and I'm going to start pulling some pictures up of different things that have happened this week. And we got some really good topics this week, so really good stuff to talk about. So one of the things I'm going to bring up right away, you guys have probably seen this in the past, but maybe not. This guy is pretty awesome. Welcome, everybody. First of all, let's stop just a second here and just point out everybody in the chat. I love everybody coming in, watching this show. The Beamy, you were here right away talking about pinball stuff, and you're right. This is probably the only exclusive pinball show that I know of. Other than the Wizard Room, which I'm going to be on tomorrow, which actually does some pinball gameplay and discussion about tables, not the news necessarily. So this is specifically the news channel. This is going to be it. But Leon, welcome to the channel. Papa Brad's Gaming. I just seen him over at BiggggyD's as well. 6-string pin, awesome. You made it in. He had trouble up until last week. So greetings, Dennis B, Dr. Torque. Everybody get in here. Soggy bacon. Awesome, everybody. So let's start off with a really cool topic. Oh no Flipper Friends, what will we do? We're going to talk about that too, Dennis B, but don't give it away yet. Alright, so let's start with this one here. This is Pinball Wizard. I got some stuff to talk about you too, so that's awesome stuff. So let's start off with this guy. If you guys are into digital pinball and you knew about digital pinball long before I did, or before my channel came about, I've only been around for what, 9 months or so. Just a baby in the digital pinball space. This guy is probably one that you've seen before. This guy here, do you remember Ed from Digital Victory? Pretty awesome to see this guy. He is back. So I wouldn't say he's back, but if you knew of digital pinball and prior to myself, you probably knew this guy. His name is Ed from Digital Victory. He does a really good show. He had all kinds of content back in the day and has just been doing it left and right. Really good stuff. It's really cool to see him back in the fold. He actually, I'm going to jump over. I'll do this as well. I'll show his channel here. You can see his stuff here. His last post was 7 days ago doing a Pinbot tutorial. So if you are still not familiar with Pinbot and you're trying to get used to that table, he did a really good tutorial on it. He goes through all this stuff. But that is the first video he has seen or has done in a long time. It looks like he's been gone about the same time I came about. So it looks like 9 months here, 10 months, over a year for some of this stuff. He does a lot of VPX showcases back in the day, so there's all kinds of good content out there. He just took a break. He said in this Pinball video he's just taking a break, and he's back. So he's not going to do a ton of top content, but he's a really good content creator, and it's good to see him here. So really good to have him back. Yeah, we're going to talk all about that stuff. There's a lot of stuff. The chat's getting going, and I love it. Love to see it. So, all right, let's jump back. All right, so this week we had a really good week, honestly. We'll jump into the calendar. That was something that was pretty prominent this week. We had a couple big releases, so we'll go over those real quick. You can see here we started out the week with a bang. We started off on the 20th with No Good Gophers, which was announced pretty late on Tuesday, and then kind of came out like immediately. It's pretty much shadow dropped at this point, which is really cool. Have we seen Digital Victory and Retrotech X in the same place? I would have to shave off a lot of hair to make it work, but you're right, the Beamy, that is good stuff. So yeah, we had No Good Gophers come out, and then we had Magic Castle Deluxe, which we're going to get into as well, but that was an interesting one, was it not? So anyway, good stuff. I tell you, man, Also, we're going to go into, this is something that kind of popped up, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. I thought this was a little interesting that they did this to us. They didn't tell us that there was a bunch of problems with the HD, but they kind of did. And I think it's interesting. If you go back, this is a week and a half ago, we're going to look at this. This is the release notes for Supersonic Deluxe. And if you'll notice here, which is really interesting, I'm going to zoom in on it here. Look here in the known issues. Believe it or not, they actually told us then. On the Legends Pinball HD, in the in-game leaderboards does not display scores. On HD devices, users may have difficulties posting to the online leaderboards. This is expected to be resolved. Now, this is a really strange place to be posting about HD server issues on a release notes for a released game. Am I wrong? This is insane. Yes, Leon, believe it or not, I am over 400 subs now. I cannot believe the love that I've received from this community. This channel is so small, and yet it's booming like crazy. I think I've gained 15 or 20 subs in the last week and a half. Probably some of my Magic Castle coverage that has been pretty prominent, but at any rate. Talk about a weird way to announce that you're having HD issues with the server on release notes for a game. I mean, it's a terrible way to announce it. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. So interesting concept here. I don't know if anybody noticed this when the game came out. I certainly didn't. I seen it after the fact. I started looking at stuff for Magic Castle Deluxe and for No Good Gophers for the resolution. And I went back and looked at Supersonic Deluxe just on a whim, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What did I just see? A whole week of nothing. That is an empty games calendar. Yeah, we'll get to that too, but man, oh man, it's been crazy. But there are options, so do not fret. There are options, and it's been kind of nice in that way to be able to see some options out there. So, No Good Gophers. Let's talk about that one real briefly. We're going to go over to, let's go over to the stream cam here. No, we don't want that one. Let's go to the stream cam. All right. So this is what my typical stream actually looks like if you've ever been here for live gameplay. So here is No Good Gophers, a great game. You can see here, I did a whole tutorial on this thing. I've done gameplay on this thing. It's a really fun game. It's a Pat Lawler game. I just came from BiggggyD's channel, and I was shocked to find out he didn't even know who Pat Lawler was. That's shocking to me. If you watched my review and tutorial, I talked a lot about Pat Lawler. He did his first game was Earthshaker. He did Whirlwind. He did Funhouse. Obviously, Twilight Zone and Addams Family were all his games. Well, his last Williams Bally game was actually No Good Gophers, believe it or not. And it's a fantastic game. I played this thing on Switch 1,000 times, and I never really let it sit in how great this game actually is. The sound effects kit sounds amazing on this thing. It's loud. It's throaty. Been a very cool game. So, does anyone notice the 4KP taking longer to boot? Yes, I have, Pete G. And thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, there has been some lag in startup times for sure. I was noticing some stuff also with. I was noticing issues with the data transfers and stuff. If you've noticed any of this stuff, if you're not managing your storage properly, I went through and I started to look at my storage. I wasn't using my flash drive X for anything pinball related as far as saving any content on there. So I went through and I actually separated everything up half and half to internal storage and FDX, and I no longer have any FPS lag. So I don't know if anybody else is having that issue or not. I certainly was, and I wanted to make sure that it was nothing like that. So I went through, I sorted all that stuff out and tried to figure out what was going on. That solved it for me. So I don't know if that's something that you guys are probably starting to experience. I've got every single game, and I've got about 8 gigs of storage left on my internal storage, And I was starting to get FPS drops on games. If I would play multiple games in a session without turning the machine off, I was starting to get FPS drops. In fact, I was playing Exoplanets yesterday, and the FPS lag was quite bad, like really bad. I'm like, what is going on? I originally thought it was the little Oort cloud, that kind of nebula that kind of floats around on the bottom. It was not that. It was happening everywhere on the table, and I'm like, okay, something's going on. So I went back, I partitioned my flash drive X to, I already had it partitioned, but I didn't allocate the first half of it to FDX, or for flash drive X. So I went ahead, incorporated that to FAT32, moved a bunch of games to it. Obviously, if you know me, I've done my VPX standalone stuff, and the track mode is on the other side. So I had that partitioned on the other side, so I got those all used up. There's about 32 gigs of information over there as well. Anyway, man, it's been crazy. So FPS drop has been completely eliminated by moving data off of the internal storage for me. So I don't know if that's an actual option for you guys or not, but certainly it worked for me. It looks like PG did it as well. Have you noticed the change? Honestly, PG, I took games off my flash drive today, Papa Brad. So it looks like we're all starting to do that. I think that's going to be something that's going to have to do. I had everything on internal. I did too. I initially had them I initially put everything on the FDX, and when I did VPX standalone, I took everything off and put everything on the internal storage. Obviously, that was probably not an issue until recently, when we're starting to run out of VRAM. I noticed Chaotic BPR had mentioned VRAM being a problem, and so I started to look at that and made the change. And I tell you what, it's been absolutely awesome. I've had no FPS drop on any single game since then, and I have not seen it, and I've had the thing on all day. I've been playing all kinds of games. I played some Kung Fu Panda. I know. Kung Fu Panda is terrible. But I wanted to get into it and try to get a good score on it. I'm still trying to figure out Samurai's Vengeance. I want to have a good game on that. It hasn't really happened. FPS lag on native games, yes, Soggy Bacon, yes, absolutely. And I think it was due to the fact that my internal storage was completely tapped out. The actual gameplay is fine, but the boot time, okay, yep. So anyway, just something to look at. I don't know if that's just me. That was my solution, and it seemed to work for me. So I'm not really sure. That was something I had to consider. And yeah, everything loads up. But, it's real nice of us on the 4K side to be talking about us playing games and enjoying ourselves, and the HD folks are absolutely lost in the woods at this point. It's really disappointing to see that they can't upload scores. I know they're working on a fix. They're doing the best they can. At Games is really struggling right now as far as that goes, but it sounds like this was, we've talked about it in the past, that I think this firmware was originally supposed to come out in February, and it just didn't. So, at any rate, I've had problems with 3 screens, reboot on a couple of games during gameplay. Interesting. So and Dr. Torquette, Guy, man, welcome to the stream, man. Time to party to start. You know it, man. So there's been options. We've talked about them, but let's get back to the news real quick, and then we could jump into some side conversations on the end there too. So this is a comparison that Billy Mods Woods did of No Good Gophers. I think it's a really cool comparison, what it looked like on FX3 versus Pinball FX, and then now, of course, on the 4KP. He did a really cool video on this. One thing you'll notice is the FPV, FOP, the field of view, is actually very different on the 4KP now, and it actually looks really, really good. I mentioned it in my video too. You'll notice the 2 gameplays on the middle and on the far left. The disc in the middle is actually much more more circular, whereas on the 4KP it's more squashed. They've actually tipped the playfield down quite a bit, and it actually makes you be able to see the gophers quite a bit better, because you have a flat playfield versus you're actually doing it with graphics. You're actually changing the field of view in the gameplay, as opposed to in real life where you can't really do that on a flat screen. So it's really interesting to see it done. 29 million on Kung Fu Panda. That's awesome, man. God on the back glass. My turn, dude. I'm trying. I thought I'd give it a whirl. I keep trying. Unplugging the actual table for 30 seconds or more has offered me something to do. It's true. It's true. If I had an HD, I'd gut it and add a 4K monitor and a PC. I think the writing is on the wall for the HD. It's not dead yet, and we know that the HDP is coming, the 1080p version. But you're right. Maybe the 4K, the older HD systems, they might be getting time to that. I will say that the alternative might be to just go straight up, go to an X Arcade, and go to VR. I know that it's getting closer to that. If I didn't have the 4KP now and I only had the option and I didn't have the money, if I knew that was a thing back in the day, I think I might have considered it. So, at any rate, it is what it is. So, kind of crazy. So, next up, let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room, Magic Castle Deluxe. Oh man. So Magic Castle Deluxe, this game came out on Thursday. I originally, for some reason, thought it was on Friday. It was not. It was actually Thursday. That was on me. That's bad. So I watched a couple of videos on this. I was actually giving blood on Thursday, and I realized I was watching Chaotic BPR's video, and I'm like, something's not right about this. There's something not right. He can't seem to get to the upper play field. The ball's flying through the dragon space over here, and it just didn't make any damn sense to me. So you'll notice over here there's a dragon, and that dragon on the 4KP would not swallow the ball. Totally big thing. So at any rate, I thought it was interesting. I noticed it. I went back and looked at the Steam version. I'm like, yeah, I know that. I played that game 1,000 times. I know what it should look like. I know what it should be doing. It's not doing that. So I did a video saying it's broken, do not buy this. I wanted to let everybody know as soon as possible. Like, seriously, give this thing some time. They're not ready. This is not ready for the big time. Hopefully it got out there. I think I gained a lot of subs from that. Honestly, these are 2 shorts that I did. The one on the left here with my ugly mug in it is to say, hey, I got a hold of At Games, which was pretty interesting. I didn't think I would get hold of them as quickly and easily as I did. But it was nice to see, because not too long after that, I received this. So I got this in the mail. Sorry about that. Here we go. So this is the message that I got from a ticket that I posted. I had mentioned to them, hey, I got an issue with this. I gave them a link to my short as well, showing them, do not buy this game. You've got to fix this stupid thing. We need a patch. So this thing here says 5:15. This was it was a little less than an hour. They responded back to me and said, yep, we see it. We're having an issue and we're addressing it. We will take care of it in a App Store X update. Can you believe it? So interestingly, they did not pull it from the store. As far as I can tell, it's still available for purchase. So that's disappointing. Magic Castle, as of right now, I can look on my system here. You'll notice it is still available for purchase for $8. So that's a little disappointing to me. And they pulled it completely from the HD side so that they couldn't purchase it as of yet. It's just been craziness, absolute craziness. So in my Discord, we had some fun with it. Dennis B actually did a really cool AI image of it, and I thought this was quite funny. I thought I would show this guys to you and let you guys enjoy it. So Magic Castle Deluxe, Attack of the Bugs, and you can see all the bugs on the playfield attacking the Magic Castle and the dragons and everything. I thought that was really, really cool. We have a channel called AI Fun on my Discord where we do a lot of this kind of crazy stuff. So anyway, good stuff. I thought that was interesting. And it was just one of those things, man. Just like, come on, man. Like, it's buggy. You got to pull it. They got to do it in the meantime. So, and then a couple more things. I'll show these while I got them up. A couple more things that we did in the little AI. This was from Whodunit. Medben Han Found Dead. And then, of course, Whodunit. So was it Tomato Grass? Was it Papa Brad? Or was it RTX? So these were done by Pinball Wizard 23. Did some really good stuff on it. So a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun in that channel, or in that Discord, so thanks for getting their attention, Troy. Dude, I don't know if it was me. It probably wasn't. I'm a very small channel. I know most of the arcade folks that reported about it later that night or the next day, Papa Brad, they were all pointing to the Billy Woods Mods video that he did, which he actually credits me. So whatever. It didn't matter who got the credit for it or what. The point was I wanted the news to be out there so that people are not buying the game until it's patched. Just so you know, if I've had a lot of people ask me, is it patched? Is it patched? Is it patched? So if you're looking on your display here, look right here. You'll notice there's a green arrow here right above where you buy the pack. When this thing's ready and it's patched, this is actually going to have like a blue update symbol. It's kind of like an additional download. So if this is still green, first of all, if you bought it, it's a green check, like mine. If it's not purchased, you've got the coin here, like to the left here. But when this thing is updated, you'll actually see a blue update circle above that. So it will be updated. It's just a matter of time. Maybe I'm not critical enough, but I'm trying to be optimistic here. They could do a lot more with it, that's for sure. And then, of course, if you look at the playfield, we'll look at the playfield real quick too, which again, really funny. On the playfield here, you'll notice it says spider, bug, insect, and worm. So that was kind of funny. You have a couple of scorpions around here, so there was already bugs on the table. Technically, there were already bugs in the table before it even turned on. So, Ryan Gong, welcome to the stream, buddy. So, Chelada Love, there he is, man. No problem, you're late. It's fine. We're just getting started. So, yeah, we've had some fun this week with all kinds of different stuff going on. So, with that, let's go to one last thing with No Good Gophers. I did do a review and tutorial on this if you guys are interested. I think it simplifies a lot of the more difficult learnings of the table to make it a little more simple. I took out these 16 random things that you get with the wheel and just talked about how you actually progress in the game. And then those things are just going to kind of happen. So I simplified it quite a bit. Hopefully that's not too much and that you guys actually can get some stuff out of that. But that was a thing that happened this week. But then, of course, the big news is right here. Flipper Friends update. So this came out August 22nd. So this was on Friday. And they finally just said, you know what? We can't do it. We're not going to be able to do it. Dear Flipper Friends players, due to technical difficulties, Week 7 tournaments for both 4K and HD are temporarily suspended. We're currently working on the fix for affecting Flipper Friends tournaments, and we'll let you know as soon as they are ready to resume. So we are still in the pause right now for Flipper Friends. And the interesting thing is that last week's tournament for the HD actually commenced. They did it. Only 5, I think I've seen only 5 people could actually post scores. They still gave away gift cards last week to for HD players last week, believe it or not. Absolutely amazing. You're confident at Games Retro. I'm not holding my breath. I'm trying to be optimistic. It's very different. Bugs and insects. Everybody who has it, try the night mode beautiful table. Yes, it is. Absolutely. And, you know, Dr. Torque, you're right. A lot of those tables have night mode, and they're actually really cool. Future World looked particularly good. I mean, Supersonic Firefighter Wildlands looks really good in the dark. So I play in a very dark playfield for the most part. This is actually far brighter than I ever play pinball in. So just for that reason, because I like to have a very dim back glass. I don't have the filters or any of that stuff. So with Flipper Friends being what it was, we had to look for alternatives. So alternatives this week are pretty nice. You know, we had a lot of extra time. So I think everybody thought, hey, we'll go play VPX. We'll go play Pinball FX. We'll go play VR. We'll play... For me, I was like, usually Fridays is my VR day. You know, we end on Flipper Friends on Thursday nights, And then we start Flipper Friends on Friday nights. And so that lag in between, after I'm done with work, I get into VR and I play all kinds of VR games on the X Arcade. So this time, I was like, you know what? Let's look around and see what else is available. So what I did is I jumped over to Facebook and I found Daniel Grayson. Now, if you don't know who Daniel Grayson is, this is BiggyD. BiggyD's Arcade actually has his own. He started a tournament here for Pinball M, and the game Camp Bloodbrook is available. If you've already purchased this one is not free. This one you actually have to buy in Pinball M, but it's a great game. And he put up a code here. You can actually get involved. You can see I'm number 5 right now, and I think Papa Brad. Yep, Papa Brad's on here. BiggyD. There's quite a few different people on here. Sacro, Jabba, he sometimes is in the chat here as well. Sacro. P-Dubs is made a point to drop in sometimes. So these are different alternatives. This is another one that is calling all ballers. So this is the warm-up week. As of next week, they start a full-on tournament for calling all ballers, but this week was kind of the warm-up. And so you got Insect World, which is a very prominent game on the HD systems, of course. That gives you some options to play that as well. I put up an okay score. It's already getting blown out of the water. I had a couple of good scores, and Chilada Love came along and just dropped a huge one on here. So, mine's not even on the screenshot anymore. At the time, I was 4th, but it's fallen quite drastically. So, Wrath of the Elder Gods, this is a game that is free in Pinball M. So regardless if you own the game or not, you don't have to own the game. This one's free to Pinball M users. You can play this on Steam, Xbox, or PS5. You cannot use the Switch version, however, because they do not have the same tournament scoring and things like that. So unfortunately, you can't use that. But I got involved in that as well. So that's another option. But there are all alternatives right now to being able to jump around and play some games. This is I'll show this real quick. This is the warm-up shot. If you're in the Facebook group, you've probably seen this. He's talking about the Kicker Arcade as well as part of that. Wrath of the Elder Gods, of course. And of course, this is the warm-up. So next week is the start of the tournament. But yeah, Gregory Farlow does this. His name is Amused to Death. If you've ever seen him either on VR or Pinball FX here and there, you'll see him floating around as well. So, good stuff. I like BiggyD's channel. His overview on the Costco Star Wars table was awesome. Yeah, he does some really good content over there. He's not exclusive to pinball. He plays pinball, but he's not really big into pinball necessarily. So, I try to fill the void with that kind of stuff, but definitely is the case. Alright, so let's jump over to the content creator calendar for this week. It's a little bit of a light week because of everything going on, or everything that has not been going on. So obviously you're here for the Pinball Post. Tomorrow night is the Wizard Room. I am going to be on the Wizard Room. They are going to be going over No Good Gophers. It's an awesome show. They do triple wide screens. They do 3 screens across the screen, where you'll probably be seeing Chilada Love, Skull Joe, myself. I know last week we had as many as 6 different players all playing. Pinball Wizard jumped in for a time there for a little bit. Any of you are interested in playing on the Wizard Room, let me know. We'll get actually in the description for this video, I've got a link to the Wizard Room for Tomato Grass's YouTube channel. Let him know. He can get you in through a URL. You can be part of the discussion about the game No Good Gophers, or you can actually show your gameplay of No Good Gophers. It was pretty cool. He was switching out gameplay last week, looking at all the different games for Pinbot and Taxi, and it was madness. It was absolutely awesome. The show went about 2 hours last time because of the amount of games and the content that was going on. Really cool to see. Mad Ben Han, welcome, man. And A Farley 17, welcome to the channel as well. I think I've seen you once before, so awesome here. Wow, it's hard to believe that At Games is still in business. Just saying. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. They've definitely struggled. There's no denying that they have definitely struggled. But I think everybody on Friday was kind of a collective, like, finally, they're finally starting to get it. Like, you know what? We don't need Flipper Friends if we can't even submit scores. Like just cut it down. Let's stop. let's and you know what? I don't care. Personally, I may be in the minority here, but if it takes 2 weeks for them to get it fixed and get it right, I'm fine with that. Just do it right, Shameless plug for my type of beer, A&W, zero sugar. And if A&W, if you're watching, you want to give me packs of pop, I'm fine with that. That'd be great. So, anyway, Tuesday, Chilada Love always does his stream on Flipper Friends at noon, which is a really good show. I like to watch that during my lunch. Even if I get banned, it doesn't matter. I still watch, even if I get banned by his wife, G.I. Jane. It was hysterical. If you were there, you knew what happened. It was amazing. Somehow she accidentally banned me for 24 hours. Accidentally. Who knows? But it was amazing. I had to do everything I could to try to let him know that it was totally fine and I was not offended or anything. But I sent him a picture that said Chalalala. I took his logo and I put banned for life across it and just made a big fun out of it. Anyway, it was totally fine. Really fun. We had a great time. So, also, Chilada Love on Thursdays does VPX, also at noon. He spends a couple hours, goes through some games. This week, he actually covered a little bit of Magic Castle Deluxe as well, and No Good Gophers, because they were brand new releases. So, you see that every now and then as well. So, Classic Adios. Did I say that? Classic Adios. What a stream, man. Caught you on a live stream. That's awesome, man. Thanks for being here. I don't think I've ever seen you before. And Guyman, when they do go down, I hope the community comes together and saves us from being locked out of the tables. Guyman, I don't believe that's ever going to happen. These tables, that's the one beauty I see about the 4KP and the HD is that, you know what, they've sold us these tables. It's not like they're stuck on a PS2 that's in my closet right now that I'm never going to play again. They're on this beautiful cabinet that I can play anytime. And even if the company died tomorrow, these are mine. They might not have the scoreboards anymore, but I could still do iScored. We'll still prevail. We've shown this week, in the face of adversity, that no matter what, we're still able to do some tournaments. We'll still play games. We'll still get it done. So, at any rate, yes, I did see in the chat here too. Papa Brad also mentioned his weekly tournaments. His show is on Friday nights at 9 o'clock. And he does a tournament as well. He does 3 games, 2 pinball games, and an arcade game as well. So a lot of people do those. Just kind of throw them out there. I've actually considered doing a tournament of sorts, but I'm not really sure. I don't know that there's a need for it, to be honest. So at any rate, so that is the content creator calendar for this week. It's pretty light. We don't have any releases this week. Not that I mind. It would have been nice to see some more stuff this month, but we got kind of buried in calendar stuff this month. So it was what it was. There's another picture of Magic Castle Deluxe with the insects and bugs and all that stuff, so I thought that was pretty fun. So yeah, man. Magic Castle became what it was, and it became just a crazy thing. This is the calendar that we originally had this month. I think we were all pretty excited about this. We knew it was aggressive, but they did provide us all these games. I would expect that the September calendar will be similar. I think we'll probably get another couple of packs from Zen's, and we'll probably get next up in the hopper for Magic Pixel is probably Star God Deluxe and Tropical Deluxe. I think are the next 2 that are going to be coming down the pipes. So I think that's going to happen. Sorry I'm jaded. I've been locked out of mine for over a week. Guy man, dude, I totally get it. If you're locked out of your system, you have every right to be upset. I know their customer service, for as good as the system is, they are a hardware company. When I submitted my ticket for the game that had a problem, Magic Castle Deluxe, there's not even a prompt to say it's a game that has the issue. You have to bypass everything in there to tell them that it's hardware issue to even submit a ticket. So I totally get it, man. It is very frustrating. I wasn't locked out of my device at any point. I financed mine through a firm, a little over a year ago. So I didn't have that issue. It's paid off as of next month. But any of you guys did the affordable financing program and got locked out for any reason whatsoever, I totally get it. There's a lot of frustration there. I do not hold that against you at all. It is absolutely insane. So, Chad H. I noticed when I was looking at some stuff on Pinball FX today and I was doing the tournament, are you in fact Dicyclos? Chad, I want to see if that's actually true. I noticed on Steam, Dicyclos is actually, his name is Chad. And I want to make sure, am I connecting that that's actually you? Because you're already in my Discord, so I just want to double check if that's true or not. If not, I apologize for that. But I wanted to see if that was a connection. So, yeah, man, I totally. And Ray Delatorre, I actually mentioned you in my review of No Good Gophers this week because you mentioned the POV that was so skewed and actually looks fantastic in that game. So, really good to say. Yeah, MedBen, that's the thing. I don't think everybody really knows. There's still people locked out of their 4K systems, and that's a tragedy. It should not be happening. And then you got people on the HD side. Now, granted, I have an HD too, but I can't submit scores, but I'm still able to play the games. There's also people who have purchased games left and right on the HD. Look at all the games that came out this week. We had 3 amazing games come out for the HD ecosystem this month. Firefighter Wildlands, Supersonic Deluxe, and Magic Castle Deluxe. People that bought those games are not getting their digital codes to be able to punch them in through the digital locker. They can punch them in if they actually do the letters. It'll actually work, apparently. Not everybody knew that, so that was an issue. I mean, it's been a shit show. Let's just call it what it is. It's been a shit show, to be honest. And they've got to get it fixed. We know they got to get it fixed. It's been bad. I mean, it's just been bad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They've given us some good calendars. They've given us some good information. They're trying to do what they can. Yeah, Mikey Yoon, good point. The clarity of communication from @Games has never been good. They, I think they're a little scared, quite frankly, of what they put on Facebook as being seen. They don't want people to respond poorly to their products on Facebook. But, you know, we're blasting them on YouTube Shorts. We're blasting them in YouTube videos such as this. I'm not near as harsh as some of the other people out there, but I probably should be. I purchased all my items. I have not received codes for any of this stuff. I mean, maybe I should be a little harsher. And people like yourself, Guy Man, I mean, if you're locked out, dude, I'd be pissed too. There's no reason to be. Why not to be? So, yeah, okay, Chad, good to hear, man. It is Dicyclos. That's what I thought, man. I thought I connected that. I'm like, you know, Retro Legends is fun too, Papa Brad, and totally unique and it incorporates retro arcade as well as console. And you play the games you want to. Yes. So, good point, Soggy Bacon. Like I said, there are options for tournaments. If you're not playing Flipper Friends this week, don't fret. There's lots of different stuff out there. I know it's not the same. Flipper Friends has an element of cool, if you will, to be able to challenge those. It's weird to look at PhilPal right now and see it completely blank. Just nobody in the scoreboards right now is a little weird. I will say, if you're submitting scores, you can still submit to the weekly scores. And I was starting to wonder if a custom tournament would actually be possible using the weekly upload scores. And I'm not sure if that's possible or not. I was thinking about getting a hold of Mike DG, the guy who made PhilPal, and just see if he could start pulling scores from the week. Like, if you could have a custom interface where you could pick the games that you want to play, or the games that he could pull the information from in an interface. Maybe 5 pull downs, right? You pull down the games that you're submitting for the tournament, and then it would pull the weekly scores for that game. Then you could essentially do like a weekly tournament of all your friends for those games. It's a thought. I don't know if it'd work, but I'm starting to think maybe there's something there. Zena's getting better with putting out these Williams packs. Yeah, they are. And I think the biggest holdup too, Ray, I think is the fact that firmware wasn't up to date. So hopefully that's the reason. And maybe we're all speculating at this point, but I think censoring criticism makes people even more upset. You're not wrong, Mikey, and you're absolutely right. As someone who's responsible for the social media on some brands, turning off the ability to turn off social comments is the answer. Listen to your customers is not the answer. You're right, Dennis B. I think there's something to that. When you cut off your customer fan base from being able to speak their mind, they're going to find other means, or they're just not going to buy your product. And it's getting to the point where VR is really coming on strong right now. The X Arcade, and let's talk about that briefly. If you have an X Arcade and you've considered buying one of them lately, this thing is coming out, and it's going to be a real thing. It's going to be a force to reckon with. Now, I understand the X Arcade, which is shown down here, is actually a $400 controller, and I get that. And the MetaQuest is a $500 headset if you get the S version. If you get the S3 or 3S, it's a little cheaper with the Fresnel lenses versus the pancake lenses. But VR is becoming a viable option for pinball users in this space. And this product here is a product of fan demand. Like they put out this X Arcade, what is it, the two TV XR controller, right? This thing came out, and now people were so adamant that they love this thing that they said, hey, we need a plunger, we need haptics, we need nudge capability, we need all these things. And X Arcade, to their credit, said, you know what, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it fast. And they're going to do it on the cheap, even. I did not think this was going to be a thing. I figured this thing would be $250 by the time I looked at all the parts and components that are here. They're selling this thing for $200, and it's going to start at $150. Now it says that it's sold out. I was actually wrong. I thought this thing was sold out, and I was going to get a little ticked off because I had talked to X Arcade, and they said, hey, we'll get you 30% off. We'll get you hooked up. And I'm like, okay, let me know. I'm ready. I'll throw my money at you again. We'll give this a go. I have not heard from them, and I thought, oh my God, did I miss the pre-order date? Apparently I did not. On BiggggyD's channel, Kevgrat actually confirmed that they're looking to start pre-orders next week. So if you have an X Arcade and you're starting to consider, maybe you're just considering getting another option for pinball, or if you're not in the space at all and you're looking to get a pinball option, that's a viable option. Or if you're just had it with that games. Like, I mean, Guy Man, you might just be like, screw it, I'll sell the damn thing. We'll get yourself a MetaQuest 3, get yourself an X Arcade, and this haptics kit, and you're golden, man. It's cheaper than your 4K. So, they've been great to the community. That's what I'm finding out, Mikey Yoon. I've seen it too, man. X Arcade listens, dude. They've been quick. And they were sending prototypes to Nick's Reviews within a couple of weeks for pinball options for your hands. I showed them on this channel where you had like a 3D printed section on the right to cover up two of the buttons so you don't push them on accident. They put like a 3D printed stuff that goes over top of the joystick that allows for easier nudging. I mean, they've been awesome about that stuff. So the fact, and you see the polarity between AtGames' communication skills and X Arcade's, and you're like, it's drastic. So it's definitely something that is in plain view right now, is something that needs to be talked about because it's not getting taken care of on the AtGames side. We know that to be true. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on, even though this was considered a slow week. I mean, look at all this stuff. Look at all the topics we're talking about. I think there's more people here than has ever been on this channel, in this chat. Absolutely amazing to see. So there's definitely some polarity that's been there for sure. And with that comes more creators. There's more people in this community, and there's more creators. So let's do another little spot out to one other guy that came this week. He was actually on the Wizard Room last week, and if he's here, I want to say, is he in the chat? Let me see here. He would be very interested to see this. I don't think I've seen him yet. Is Pinball Wizard 23 here? I don't think he's here yet. But let's jump over to this. Have you guys seen this? He has a new channel, a new YouTube channel Pinball Wizard 2023, and he has 15 subscribers currently. He is going to be doing some Wizard Room stuff, and if you want to see some high-end gameplay, Pinball Wizard 23, you've probably seen his gameplay. You've definitely seen his name on the top 10 of a lot of tables. Get over there, subscribe to his channel, and once he gets up to 50, he'll be doing more live streams and stuff like that. You'll be able to see some more high-end gameplay. There he is. I knew it. I thought I seen you in the chat earlier, and so here we go. Definitely get over to his channel. Give him a sub. He's got 15 right now. Let's get him up to 20 during this show, at least. Let's get him up to 50, man. We want to see more of his gameplay. We did it with Chalada Love. You guys did it with me. I got up to 50 really quickly. I'm up to 401, believe it or not. Again, thank you so much for that, guys. It's just insane. So definitely get over there. There's more content creators than ever in this space, and it's good. It's a good thing to have more options, more, I call it research material. If you're looking to be good at a game and you can't figure it out, I mean, go look at Mad Ben Han. He doesn't have a ton of subscribers either, but he puts out kind of a random video all the time of a game. Go check him out. I go over there and I'm like, what is he doing differently? What is he doing that I'm not doing? And I'll look at that video and I'm like, he's shooting that spot target a little more than I ever do. What is he gaining from that? He's got kickbacks on all the time. What is he doing there? And I tell you what, you will learn something really quickly from these guys. Tomato grasses, soggy bacon, you could easily, I would watch your gameplay in a heartbeat, man. You guys are all, there's so many good people in this community, and they're all in the chat, quite frankly. It's so awesome to see. So, Pinball Wizard, yes, you do great content. This is a video on the Circus 27 remake, which is an absolutely awesome game. At Games does not give near enough love to the remake games from the Zachariah library. There are so many great games that are remakes there. So definitely check those out. I'm going to be doing a video this week on Brother in Arms. One of my favorite Zen original tables that it does not get good love. The reason for it is it happens to be stuck in a gearbox pack, which is absolutely horrendous. It has Borderlands and Homeworld in it, which are terrible, terrible games. But Brother in Arms is actually really awesome. So I'm going to do a deep dive on that game this week. I love that game. So that's going to be a fun one. But Pinball Wizard did this on Circus Remake, and I gotta say, I love the content that I want to get everybody away from getting stuck watching Flipper Friends stuff every single week. We're getting kind of blown. We're getting just buried with Flipper Friends stuff every week. So at any rate, yeah, Real Kramer, Beamy. Look, I think all of you guys are really excited to do more. I mean, Chalada Love, you've been doing VPX stuff. Pinball Wizard. I mean, there's a lot of different content options out there. So I say this is really a tribute to you guys to continue to do what you do and just keep it going, because there's a lot to be said here. But man, I feel like we were vindicated a little bit. We seen something wrong with the title, Magic Castle Deluxe. We posted it. We basically blasted it on the interwebs, on the facegrams in the world. Yeah, I'm 47. I could say this, but we did it. We did it. They said they're going to patch it, and I know they're going to patch it. So I brought Brother in Arms for $15, and it came with 2 other crappy games. You're not wrong, Chad. That's the way I feel too. Homeworld is only okay. I'm actually still in the back glass on that game, which is amazing because I can't stand it. And then Borderlands, I played the hell out of that game earlier this week because I had some time. I didn't know what to do, and I did really well on that too. And it's like, man, it sucks. It sucks so bad. But anyway, man, Brother in Arms is a great game. Like I said, I'm gonna do a video on it. I'm gonna have some fun with it. Not having Flipper Friends has freed me up to do some other things this week, which has been nice. So really good to see. Super satisfying combos. I tell you what, man. Good stuff. Love all the content, gentlemen. Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, when we talk about all this stuff, it feels like there's the sense of community in this community is crazy. Like, I'm surprised that people support each other as well as they do, quite frankly. People could easily look at this and be like, oh, well, he's got so many subs and he's doing this and he's doing that. And they're all doing the same stuff. Like, how do you pick? How do you choose? Well, I think everybody's got a little bit of a different personality quirk. Tomato Grass has got his thing, and Enchilada Love's got his, and Papa Brad's got his, and I got mine. Med Ben Han, I think he was, when they mentioned him last week on the Wizard Room, they mentioned that watching him play is like watching a ballet, and it's awesome to see. He's so chill and so calm. He's super content to let that ball just cradle on that flipper, and then just whoop. Take this one, just flip. There's just time and space, and it's so beautiful to watch. And then you got somebody, who's just flailing. You got Tomato Grass during a multi-ball, and it's just like the flippers are just going crazy. So it's really cool to see that across different mediums, to see how different people play a different way. I try to keep it light, try to keep it fun. It doesn't always work. If I get too frustrated, I just have to get rid of that table. I'm just like, that's it. I'm moving on. I discovered Pinball Champion today. Been sleeping on that one. See, that is the one bright side. I hate to say that. Is it a bright side? It's not a bright side, okay? It is a byproduct of not being able to do Flipper Friends, is that we are able to discover games that we already have, that we really have not spent the kind of time that we really need to. Because there's some really good games out there. So, Mad Ben's control and consistency is insane. Found another glitch for your RTX on Samurai's Vengeance. Oh, man. Put it in the log, man. If you're in my Discord, I also, links in this channel, in this description for all of these different content creators. I think I got Mad Ben Han, I got Tomato Grass, I put Pinball Wizard in there, I put Digital Victory in there. There's all kinds of people in there. I also put a link to my Discord if you're not already involved in that. We talk about this stuff all the time. We show the AI fun. We talk about Magic Pixel releases. We talk about VPX. We talk about VR. We talk about all this stuff. All pinball related. There is a gaming channel, but it is not very well utilized, and it's fine. It's just there for whatever purpose, but almost primarily pinball stuff. But Real Creamer brings up a good point. I started a Google document. It's just an Excel spreadsheet with every table that I can think of that has an error. I've shared it with the community on my Discord, and if you ever find a bug in a table, put it in this log. And I've actually shared this to @games as well. I did it in a ticket, and I shared the stupid Google document, and I said, damn it, I don't care if you ever look at it, but you're going to have it. If you want to look at it, and you want to see your community contributing to your stuff, telling you specifically what's wrong with your games, it's there for you. And I don't care if they look at it ever, but it's going to be there. And I feel like at the very least, I can say, hey, we've notified you. I told you about it. It's been there, and it's going to continue to go there. So, way too fast for you. Hey, you won the giveaway a couple weeks ago, so that was really cool. He hasn't even used it yet, and that's fine. Why would you right now? You're waiting until you get the games you want, and knock them out, man. So glitches are a thing, and I know the biggest problem with the glitches are not the problem. So to be very blunt, the glitches were not ever the problem. It's the fact that they weren't patching them. So when I seen that a brand new game was not fully functional, even if it's not great, it wasn't fully functional, I wanted to make dang sure that they seen it. I wanted them to pull the release completely for both HD and 4K. They did not do that. But they did shut down Flipper Friends because they can't do that. But that's different than the actual game. But the point is, they acknowledged it, and they said they're going to patch it. And that, to me, is huge. So, it's probably, for all new releases, that shouldn't even be a thing. If it's a broken game, you should just pull it again and get it fixed. It's. I think it says a lot about the fact that they probably did not. They didn't really beta test it, quite frankly. First of all, if you've played these games on Zaccaria Pinball, you will know that the physics play differently. I confirmed this with Mart from the Zaccaria Pinball Discord. He has confirmed that Steam actually uses a different physics engine than it does for the 4KP. It is in fact different. And so when you say there's bouncy physics on the 4KP and you go back and you play, I play Zaccaria Pinball in VR, it does not play the same. No question. It plays different. And you'll see the ball dropping from a higher thing, and it has a little extra bounce to it and things like that. Yeah, I've got to wait for a bunch of bangers and swoop in all at once. By the way, I noticed the HD is not saving the login, so it's been a real pain. Yeah. Way too fast for you. I totally get it, man. The HD has been terrible this week. It's been, what, 2.5 weeks now? Since that Monday update. The Monday firmware. You could call it doomsday if you want at this point, but HD has no problems unless you flip the power switch on. Leon's quick wit will always get me every time when I'm doing a chat here, but I still need to log the bugs on the document. I have not followed through on that. Well, get it done, Soggy Bacon. Do your job, man. Do your job. You had one job. So, do we know if AtGames are the publishers making the patch? Can AtGames patch a game they didn't create? That's a good question. I would have to say that it's going to have to go back to Zaccaria, which I think would take some time because they're already working on other things. AtGames, as we know, is basically a hardware manufacturer. They do not make games. Yes, we have had AtGames originals, but they are not creating them. So Zaccaria or Magic Pixel is still creating their AtGames original games. So yes, I would have to believe that is going to go back to Zaccaria, and they're going to have to look at it and go, okay, what happened in the code, line by line? Why is the code not working on this game when it is working on this game, or on this user interface versus the other? The rock chip we know is not a very powerful system, which is what is in the 4KP. Something obviously just doesn't translate. Whether it's, I know when they were talking about the Zen releases, they originally didn't work either, and that's why we had all the lag. They had to go back and rewrite those in Linux code to make it work. So there's definitely some code issues that need to be some conversion. It's not just a one-to-one. You can't just cut and paste from one to the other and expect it to work. It's not Python or C# or whatever. It's not quite that simple. So it's a real shame. So yeah, I would expect it. I would thought at least a week. I don't think it's going to be a quick fix. I would think at least a week. I think they have to fix that and patch that before Star God comes out. I would think. You have to think, right? Who's going to buy Star God Deluxe if Magic Castle Deluxe isn't fixed? I mean, I know, man. 100% six string. Let us pinball addicts find the bugs. Yep, we're gonna find them. And if you play the Steam versions and then you play them on the 4KP, you're gonna see them instantly. I know me and Papa Brad, we found it right away. Chaotic BPR was like, "What? Something's not right." He had been playing it on Steam. He knew. He just couldn't figure it out right away. Unfortunately, I think there's one person in QA and he completely dropped the ball during testing. Maybe. He probably turned it on and played the game for 5 minutes and went, "Seems okay. Yeah. Ship it." Oh, it's a shame, man. I know. Zaccaria VR is great. Just wish recenter key would stick. Classic adios. Dude, I love Zaccaria VR. I played it again today. I had all kinds of issues, though, getting my headset to connect with the VR link. I had to reinstall Oculus Link. That was a pain. And then I couldn't get... The X Arcade somehow got back into keyboard input instead of X input, so I had to fix that. But I got it back up and running. It runs beautifully with X. Zaccaria Pinball is absolutely awesome on the X Arcade. So, if you have access to VR at all, it's just fantastic. So, Maybe share the bug log with the publishers, Zachariah, Farsight, Zen, etc. Yeah, I could do that. You're absolutely right, Soggy Bacon. That's a good idea. I have not done that on the Zen Discord, so maybe I'll do that. Because there's definitely some Zen games in there. We've already talked about Samurai's Vengeance. That was a big one. We've already posted and let them know about Jurassic World with the raptors not eating the ball on the when you do the movie order of the games. The first mode is like almost impossible. If you do selectable, you can kind of bypass it, but you're not. It sucks for Pinball World. So they know about it. It's in their bug log. They have a bug log on their Discord for @games specifically. But I haven't seen any patches. The only patch that we've seen for Zen tables is to add the John Williams music to the Jurassic Park games. So they've proven that they can patch games. They can patch them if they want to. But clearly they have not been doing it. So some of that I'm sure is @games. I'm sure there's, we see this with Nintendo too. When there's a patch, Nintendo is like notoriously slow about getting a patch from the publishers to the public. There's like a process that they take a week and they verify everything works and that it goes through. Well, you're right. @games doesn't verify anything; they just print it. But they gotta tell them to do it. So, Leon says they turned the animations down to work on weaker hardware, and the animation was important in this case. You're right. The animation, in fact, Leon, if you notice in Magic Castle Deluxe, the dragon actually still does the swallowing ball animation. It'll still do it, and you'll be like, "Wait a minute, you didn't swallow anything. What are you talking about?" It actually does the animation. So, unpopular opinion, but @games should pause all new releases and focus on patches and bug fixes. Dennis, I would be completely on board with that. I think we mentioned it last week too. Even we got quite a list of games that need patches. I mean, we have as of right now, we have 240 native games on this system. I would say there's about 30 that have actual bugs. Games that actually have bugs that are either score breaking or you can't submit scores. The Gottlieb tables, a lot of those are broken. We've talked about Check and Pop. The Taito games, for whatever reason, there's a lot of those that are broke. Yeah, I would be totally fine with that. Get them fixed. I mean, you break trust every time you release a game. We tell you it's broken and you don't fix it. It's got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed. So, Jurassic World is a great game, even with the bug. It would be an amazing table if it got patched. You're not wrong, Soggy Bacon. I love that game. All three of those games in the Jurassic Park pack are really good. Mayhem is incredible. I've only seen a really goofy bug in that one. It's never been very major. I've had it where I actually did it on stream. I was playing Flipper Friends with it one week, and it just kept plunging the ball during a multi-ball. But as soon as I tilted out of it, it was fine. It fixed itself. But yeah, there's in the original the Jurassic Park game, the main one is awesome. I've never seen a bug in that one. But Jurassic World, that first mission, man. And if you play that on Steam, you play it on Switch, you play it on Xbox or something, it does not work like that. You hit the ball into the raptor's mouth, he swallows the ball, and you move on. It's so simple. So I paid $35 for Magic Pixel for new graphics, DMD, and bug fix pack. That should be charged. Pinball Wizard, they can't charge for bug fixes. They got to take it out of their investments. It needs to be an investment in their product. If they're going to continue to sell these games, and that the prices have done nothing but gone up, which is interesting. If you look at the Taito games, we've had all kinds of bugs and problems with those, and yet those prices are $35 for that pack of 4 games. And if you look at when they did when we talked about the HDP, you notice they're selling those games individually for $8. Which is interesting because if you bought all 4 of the games individually, they'd still be cheaper than $35. So, what? Granted, they're 1080p versions, but what are you talking about? Are you going to patch them? Are those games going to come out broken? If you buy Check and Pop, for example, for $8 on an HDP, is it still going to be broken? I guarantee it will be. That is disappointing. That is disappointing. Maybe that's an opportunity for them to fix it and patch it and get it out to everybody. Okay, I'd be fine with that. But it absolutely has to be free. You're not wrong. I mean, it has to be. So, at any rate, we could talk ad nauseum about whether or not they're going to patch games or not. I think the acknowledgement that they're doing it for Magic Castle Deluxe is huge. But now we need to refocus and say, hey, okay, look, Check and Pop was broken. We like Check and Pop. We want to play Check and Pop. If you're going to continue to put it in Pinball in Flipper Friends, you better patch the darn thing. We got to blast them every single time. And whether or not that means shorts that go viral, then so be it. Or we just have to send, all of us have to continue to send tickets. To the point, we have to send so many tickets that they say, hey, please, stop sending us tickets. How many times have they done that recently? It's comical. They have a ticket system. Again, it does not talk about games, only hardware. We're sending tickets to them, and they're like, please stop sending us tickets. We already know about it. They can somehow communicate that, but they can't seem to communicate that, you know what, it's fixed and it's done. The fact that they squeezed out that the release notes, I want to bring this back up again because it burns my butt, quite frankly. How do you release notes about HD server issues in the notes for an individual game? This is insane. Like, nobody read this until at least a week later. I didn't see it. I don't know nobody was talking about it. The fact that this got out in Supersonic Deluxe's known issues has nothing to do with Supersonic Deluxe. Supersonic Deluxe does not have HD issues. The HD has HD issues. It's just laughable. Check and Pop is a 5 as is. Would be a solid 9 if it was patched. Yeah, Check and Pop's a good game. It's a fun game. Like, it actually, a lot of those title games play incredibly well. I love their simplistic design. They're basically created in the same year that the games were created. They're great games. So patch them, fix them, let's go. So anyway, it is what it is, man. I tell you what, we've had a crazy week. Definitely check out the Wizard Room tomorrow night. I'm going to be on there. We're going to be playing No Good Gophers. We're going to have a great time. If you're interested in high-end gameplay and some really good discussion about the game to start, we're going to talk a little bit about Pat Lawler, obviously, and the games that he created. He did some amazing work. It is a notoriously hard game, especially the hole-in-one shot is absolutely ridiculously hard. I think I've hit it maybe 3 or 4 times in probably the 50 games that I've played, but it's an incredibly satisfying shot. So definitely check that out. Should we be concerned that the lag is increasing and the resolution is decreasing with each Zen release lately? I don't think so, Dennis B. And the reason I tell you that is because I think they finally found a sweet spot. If you've noticed, the last 4 Zen tables have all been 1260p. I hope that that's kind of the basement for Zen releases, that it's going to be 1260p. If you look at something like Tales of Arabian Nights, Totan, that was 1440p, so it's a little higher, but they still maintain the 60 FPS. But everything as of late has been 1260p, and I wonder if that's maybe just the sweet spot. They finally just figured out, you know what, screw it. They look good enough. Let's just do them 1260p. We'll keep them at 60 FPS. I'm hoping that's the case, because I haven't seen, the lag has been creeping up. You talking about a sore spot there for sure. The lag has gone up just a little bit. I don't notice it on a lot of tables. I notice it a little more on Pinbot than I do others. I don't know, man. It's a tough one to talk about because it's certainly a concern. They patched them before. If it got too low again, if they start getting in the 80s and 90s again with the milliseconds, I would really start to be concerned. But the latency is sliding backwards towards 100 milliseconds. 60 would be the sweet spot for flipper latency. Yeah, and I think this last one was what 72, 80, 75, somewhere in there. So they're creeping up there, Soggy. You're not wrong. You notice at games lag when you play Pinball FX VR. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you play it in VR and then you jump over to at games 4KP, you will notice it. There is a bit of a transition period between the two. You'll definitely notice it, and even which is funny because if you play with the controllers for the MetaQuest, they have like you have to pull a little bit before it even actuates. So the fact that you're doing that pull with the delay and the pull to get to the actuate and the lag is still quicker than it is on a 4KP. It's really interesting to see because it shouldn't be that way. Lower lag makes the gameplay better, makes the games play easier. It does. In particular, shots on Attack from Mars. There's shots that for that lock hole just to the left of center of the saucer is really hard to get in 4KP for whatever reason. I can hit that shot all day long in VR. So it's definitely something we're going to have to keep looking at. Leon, you are not a golfer, are you? Hole-in-one's kind of hard. I've never hit a hole-in-one in real golf. I've come really close. I hit a par 3 about 150 yards, and I hit it 6 foot from the hole, and then I one-putted for the birdie. So that was the best golf shot I ever did, but no hole-in-ones for me, man. I'm noticing it more now that I've been playing VPX. Really? So VPX has all kinds of frame rate issues for the most part. That's the biggest problem I see in VPX. But yeah, you will see lower lag in VPX a lot of times. I noticed for Taxi, I played Taxi, Whodunit, and Pinball, of course, in VPX versus the 4KP versions. And you're right, they are different. Everyone pick up your pitchforks and storm at games. We know where they're at. They're in California. Apparently, it's somebody. I wish I knew who said this, but there was apparently it's just a warehouse door, and it has like electrical room on it or something, and that's at Games headquarters. And they don't want anybody to know where they're at. So I think you can check that on Google Earth. I'm gonna have to check that out, like you. You're right. I have to check that out. So, with that, we've talked for over an hour already. I appreciate everybody come out. This has been a great chat. I thank you so much for everybody stopping by and appreciating this show. Obviously, digital pinball is strong in this community, and if you're not getting enough content talking about it on a weekly basis, definitely get on my Discord. We talk about this stuff all the time, every day. And we're all looking for alternatives to play tournaments and things like that. So, have fun storming the castle. Hey, we're going to be storming the castle soon. I hope Excalibur comes to this 4KP. This is an original. I would love to see that. I'd love to storm that castle. Not to mention Castle Storm. That might be another one. So, I hope, man. Magic Castle is closed. It needs repairs. It's still available for purchase. So, at any rate, guys, thank you for watching RTX Pinball and being a part of the Pinball Post. This has been a lot of fun. Remember to... well, you know what I'm going to say, right? Right? Anybody? No? Nobody? Somebody's got to know. It's on my t-shirt. Soggy Bacon just bought my t-shirt. Remember, you only need one ball for greatness. Keep plunging. We'll see you next time, guys.